multitask. Okay, I guess it is recorded, Sunita ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, what has happened here? So, okay, let me give you a recap from where we came. We talked about the learning objectives, we talked about the story, and we talked about the theme which is going to revolve, that is the what, when, where, why, and how of the learning or the technology in education. Now, what has happened is we are here just to accept, okay, this is what it is, and these are the tools which we have, and we have accepted. The very important reason over here is the knowledge has exponentially accelerated and it has outbursted. Sorry to use this word, but say yes in the chat if you agree. It has outbursted like a volcano. Everywhere you go and knowledge is there. Do you agree? It's a yes. It's a yes. Yes. So everywhere you go and you can see knowledge. Everywhere you go and there is a school. Everywhere you go and there is a college. 100%. Yes. So it has outbursted to an extent wherein the students are getting confused. So, okay, so ma'am told me 1 plus 1 is 2. And here I'm getting a different answer. So this is just an example which I thought of giving you. So we really don't know what the students are facing. There is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of perception which is happening. How do we restrict or reduce? We may not be able to stop, but reduce to a certain extent is our responsibility, which we would see in the next few slides. So we saw the fact. What is the impact? Now the impact, as I mentioned earlier also, is on two major elements. One is the teachers, professors, and second is the students or learners. Agree? The entire world is getting impacted. While the entire world is getting impacted, the two elements which are really getting impacted is one is the learner and one is the teacher who's delivering. From where do we get so much of content? From where do we get so much of knowledge which the learner has not yet seen? Because he knows ChatGPT, he knows AI, he knows Google, he knows everything. Now what do we do? So, to impact it positively or to impact it in the right direction or to impact it constructively, what I think, it is my thought, but then you may type in yes if you agree. What we can do is we can provide or we can construct a curated course or a curated learning. Is that what will help us? Is this the solution which we may think that this will help? Yes, I can see yes from Dipanjan, sir. So the curated learning may help. To give you an example right away, even while we are talking, even this session which we are undergoing, I would frankly and very transparently, very honestly, very humbly share with you that a part of it is a curated learning. Because everybody knows everything, and still we have to do a session because the knowledge is spread everywhere. Now the responsibility on the two elements, the first element is the teacher or the professor lies, is provide a curated learning or a curated training or a curated content, which would happen if we go and check which are the right tools, if we go and check which is the right content, if we go and check which is the right instructional design methodology. Then I move on to the next slide, which talks about the role of interactive technology in learning. So what is the role? So we see that there are two artists, the main artists, one is the teacher, one is the student. But then there is this third artist in this entire picture. And this artist is the technology in education. So all three of us, the teacher, the student, and the technology in education need to weave in the story in a way which would really create opportunities for a communication. So a lot of communication needs to happen because it is online, because the students are sitting somewhere in the world, you really don't know. You really don't know from what device they are watching. If their device is not responsive, the course may look, distorted, lot of things. So we create opportunities. One is communication. And the second important is to collaborate with each other, to weave in, to interact. So that is the only thing, that is the only role of this third artist, along with the first two artists. You interact, you collaborate, you communicate, and again, communicate positively, communicate constructively, communicate in a right way, in the right direction to meet and align the learning objectives. Are we good till here before I move on to the differences? Are we good? Okay, thank you so much. Now we would look at the differences, and the differences which we see, there are majorly three differences from the traditional learning and the technology learning. The traditional learning, we had a physical learning material, as we discussed, as we saw in the story. We did not have stones and the metal tools, of course. So we have not seen those, we have missed that, but we have seen the pen and papers. Maybe the next generations may not even see the pen and papers. They would only see the laptops and the mobiles. They would only see the authoring tools. They would only see the AIs of the world. So there will be a third column to this, which we really do not know. It is completely blank. So the chalkboards and the papers and pens are being replaced with education materials. The limited access to education materials in limited time, the schools and colleges from 7 to 1, the limited access, the desk is being replaced to the availability of the channels have increased to an extent. You go on Google, you find a channel. You go on YouTube, you find a channel. You go anywhere and you find a channel. You don't restrict yourself to school or colleges. And the third difference is the in-person classroom setting has been replaced with a personalized kind of training or learning for students. Again, I'm sharing my humble thought on this is I really miss the school days, get very nostalgic at times. Do you? Or all of you are okay with this technology? Of course, we have to be okay. We have to accept the fact. We can't deny the fact. But anybody who's still missing the chalkboard and the paper and the blackboard and the dust and the aroma of the chalks, which we were writing on the blackboard, and the hands and the fingers were really white at the end of the lesson. So yes, I can see lot of yes, lot of yes, lot of yes. Thank you so much. And I move on to the next slide. And I'm really happy that these two answers were posted in the chat when I asked, so which are those tools which are new normal tools? So these tools, I don't even need to give an overview. Everybody knows about it. But as a part of session, as a part of everybody needs to align together and get everybody on the same page, I have just put up few slides. Is it okay I take you through them? Okay. What is the story of ChatGPT now? What is this ChatGPT? So anybody without doing ChatGPT, full form of GPT, but without going to ChatGPT, anybody, what is the full form of ChatGPT? That is full form of GPT. Anybody? Please do not do ChatGPT right now. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Even general purpose technology, no. No. Okay, it's okay. Absolutely fine. I just thought of, I don't know from this where this question came in my mind, but let's see what the real answer is. So it's not general purpose technology. It seems it is generative pre-trained transformer. That is what ChatGPT's answer is, that the full form of GPT is generative pre-trained. Now, when we are using that pre-trained for P, I guess that word is really important. What they have done is they have already fed everything. It's fed. What you want? Okay, you pick up from this compartment and give it. What you want? Okay, she wants this. You just give it. So it's a pre-trained, it's a transformer. Let's accept it's a transformer. And it is who has developed this? Of course, it's an OpenAI. Everybody knows about it. And Elon Musk is the hero of this thing. Of course, Sam Altman is also there. But still, Elon Musk is the person who really invented this. And it is AI. It is a chatbot technology. What happens exactly is it is a natural human language, and that is how it generates a response. I'm opening the chat because I can see, yes, it is generative pre-training transformer. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now, what happened, or what is a quick history and evolution of ChatGPT, and when did it start? It is not today. So it is almost 9-10 years back. From 2015, I know from 2015 this had started, or it was in a phase of developing or originating the idea. 2017, they realized that this is the first research paper we need to publish, and they came up with the deep learning to create intelligent machines. So God made an intelligent machine like us, and now we are making intelligent machines like ChatGPT, and this is not today, this is way beyond in 2016 and 17. Now, 2018, what happened? OpenAI literally launched, and the open source toolkit was developed, and it was reinforced with the learning algorithms. Why all of us are talking about ChatGPT? Because just one input here, it extensively helps teachers and learners. This is the major community which is using ChatGPT. 2019, what happened typically is, again, the testing reinforcement learning happened. Then in 2020, what happened is they did a third iteration. So if we see at this has been in a developing phase. Now the testing is happening. The GPT language model is to generate a human-like text. So it was not only algorithms. It was not only deep learning or machine learning. Now they are trying to literally get into our brains, into our minds. And how does a human write or human think, or what does the human want? So the human-like text. In 2021, what happened is they launched GPT-3. So I guess the latest version, if I'm not wrong, is GPT-4. And we have GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3. So that was in 21. And the AI system that can generate code based on natural language input. That was really an invention which they did. 2022, they partnered with Microsoft. So the OpenAI guys partnered with Microsoft developing new AI technologies, and Microsoft has invested $1 billion in their organization. Now, today, what happened, like the last year, 2023, they have launched their GPT-4, and which has, it's unbelievable, it has 600 billion parameters. It's unbelievable. So it is like it has crossed everything now. Can you believe it is really mind-blowing, isn't it? It is mind-blowing. Are you all there? Yes, it can challenge human creativity. Machines are starting to think out of the box, just like humans. So it can become a villain. I really agree to it. But see, do we have an option? As I said, we don't have an option. We have to accept the fact the villain is there. It is the third one. So there are two heroes, that is the professor teacher and the student learners. And now we have this technology which is trying to help us in a way. We can't say no to it. We can't say yes to it. But we have to accept the fact, we have to accept the impact, and we have to accept the role which is playing. So let's take it in a way as it is. Now, what happens over here is, as you rightly said, somebody posted on the chat, I saw some times back, it can generate images and videos. Forget about the text. It can literally generate images. It can summarize the text. It can create chat bots. You do not need programmers, I heard. You do not need artists, I heard. It is amazing. So it is taking the control of everything as if it is the creator of this universe, the technology universe. It can automate and it can content can be generated, it can be automated, it can be authored, it can be tested. So what is it which it does not do? It does everything. Now, how is it helping us? The major thing it is helping us in doing the sales and marketing, because it is helping us with the typical sales content. So if I need to sell this mobile, I don't have to literally sit and write the content which needs to be written as a sales pitch or a sales talk or a marketing brand manual needs some content or images. Go to ChatGPT, it has it, and your sale will increase. The programmer now doesn't need to worry whether you know what type of course he needs to know the programming and the basics of coding, and he needs to be as experienced as. So what is the challenge or what is the requirement over here? What I feel is we as experts need to give the absolute correct input. Are we agreeing on this? Otherwise, this entire technology in education will fail. So the input needs to be absolute, appropriate. Do we agree on this? True. Yes. We have to use it responsibly. Absolutely. Yes, true. I can see the responses in the chat. And while I'm happy that you're responding, I am, feeling very good that you all have not dozed off till then. And I'm not really boring you to an extent wherein you cannot respond in the chat. So thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. It is also helping us in content creation. And that is how the education industry is using it to an extent wherein what type of course do you need to conduct? What type of course do you need to design? What type of session you need to conduct? What type of lecture you need to, what type of paper you need to write? Oh my God, anything, you go to ChatGPT first and you ask. It is also helping with the customer support. Now, recently we are using it as a authoring tool and also as a intelligent tutor. So then somebody may think, then why are we here even? What are we supposed to do if there is an intelligent tutor? No, as I said, we are now responsible, in fact, even more responsible towards this technology in education, because the input at the back end, the mapping at the back end, the content at the back end needs to be curated very, very neatly by experts like you. It is not, otherwise it will fail. It is not something like it will do it by itself. Chat GPT as of now has not come up. If I do not give an input, it will give me the output. So the input needs to be absolute, and that is how the productivity will increase and it will reflect in our businesses. I'll take you quickly through some ChatGPT screens. The reason why I am not switching over to the live, because at times what happens is, can you give me a minute? I have to take this. I'm sorry for that. Yeah. Now what has happened is I'm not switching over to the live chat GPT. All of you are still there. All of you are still there. Have a quick water break if you wish to. Have a quick tea break if you wish to. Relax on your chair and watch the chat GPT screens. Why I'm not switching over to the live chat GPT is at times what happens is it literally, because it is technology, so it literally takes us for a ride. The internet goes down. At times what happens is, the Wi-Fi is not working if you all are accessing from the mobile. So we would watch it on static screens. Now what has happened is there is a settings and beta in the chat GPT, wherein if we go on the settings, we have an option even of setting the right theme for us. So I don't like the dark one, I don't like the light one. So I can literally change the settings over here, which everybody does. So this is no rocket science, but still, as I said, I would just take you quickly through the chat GPT screens. The second is there are beta features. So if we click or we literally activate all of them like custom instructions, plugins, and code interpreters. So it would allow us to see all of these. So I would urge everybody, if you all are yet not doing it, please activate the beta features of ChatGPT under settings. What it would do is it would literally give you the code interpreter and plugins. See, because I activated that, it is showing me the circle which I have highlighted. The orange circle shows that now I have the code interpreter and the plugins with me. Now, what it can help us with, it is not only please write so and so for me. I can even ask ChatGPT to rewrite this in a more formal tone. So the informal tone is, I hope I am audible. I hope everything is visible on the screen because these are screenshots. Okay, thank you. So the informal way is, hey, how are you? But I want it in a formal tone. To write an email, to wish somebody very senior, what I would do is, greetings. How do you find yourself today? This would be a formal tone. So what is happening is ChatGPT is helping me in changing the entire tone as per my audience or as per my requirement, my objective. Now there is another way. Give me more such responses. So I am not satisfied with this tone. What I would ask, so what the input from our end should be, not again type the entire thing. Still ChatGPT is there with us. So what I am doing is give me more such responses. And it is giving me 5 more responses. Good day. How might you be faring presently? Salutations. May I inquire about your current state of well-being? I trust this message finds you well. How are you today? And it goes on. The list goes on. It is giving me thousands of formal responses to my question. Then a programmer would ask, give me this program or type this code for me. Rather, teach me how to write hello world in Python would be the input from our end. So teach me will be whenever we want ourselves to get trained or whenever we ourselves want to get the learning from ChatGPT. Now what it says is sure thing. A hello world program in Python is quite straightforward and blah, 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 and it will give you a huge list of programming. There is another feature which I would recommend, highly recommend, to click on the plugin store in the ChatGPT settings. And the plugin store, if you click, it looks something like this. Please type a yes if already you all are using these plugins. Please type a yes or a no if you all are not using. Okay, I can see the no's and few yes, not yet, which is absolutely fine. No, but I would highly recommend if you use the plugins along with the normal chat GPT, So it has a AI PDF, it has Ask Your PDF, it is Chat with PDF, Expedia, Notable, Link Reader. These are all the plugins which would take you to a different level. So for example, Professor A is using ChatGPT, Professor B is using ChatGPT, Professor C is using a plugin in store, plus with the beta version, it would make a difference. That is how you stand out in the technology in education and still use the technology. Otherwise, it sounds like, oh, everybody is using the AI, everybody is using the ChatGPT. Now everybody is using the AI PDF, Ask Your PDF. Still, would it be consistent? No, because again, the inputs would be different here. And while we are using it today, tomorrow there are going to be new plugins and new beta versions. Now we have ChatGPT 4 along with ChatGPT 3. Today, while we are speaking, this is getting launched. This has been already launched. We have some different features over here, or you all are already using, but still, this was a bit of surprise to me, wherein, can you summarize this? So what happens is, I just copy pasted something over here in this, and it was a huge web page. So summarizing the entire web page is the title of the screenshot, as you can see. It was a huge web page, thousands of words, and I wanted to summarize it. So can you summarize it? So when it summarized, it gave me something. Then I didn't want everything to be summarized in a paragraph. I wanted only in 5 sentences. I asked, can you summarize this article in 5 sentences? And it is giving me only 5 sentences or 6 sentences max. I also tried asking, act as Elon Musk and give your thoughts in AI. And it gave. Isn't this mind blowing? Try doing this. Act as somebody, of course, not anybody and everybody, some personalities whom we know, and ask ChatGPT to give thoughts. So act as somebody, act as, okay, so to change the nation, to do the Swachhata, to do the new nation, the new world, maybe we can ask some personality and act as that personality and give your thoughts in AI. It would literally help us with some thoughts. ChatGPT would also help us doing the formatting as a table. So I tried asking, give me the days of the weeks in a table and put the days in a column and not just a flowing text. It has helped me giving me in a table or in a column in this format. Isn't this mind blowing? I had not used this. I had not seen this feature earlier, very frankly. This is a very complex question which needs to be asked to the ChatGPT, which I thought, explain the quantum physics to a child. What is quantum physics? Explain quantum physics is absolutely fine. Explain it to a child is a bit complex, isn't it? How many of you have tried giving this combination, explain this topic, but to someone or to a child, to a senior citizen, not typically only a student, giving the personality in detail whom we need to explain it. And here is how ChatGPT explains what is quantum physics exactly to a child. So what it says, you know what? How when you play with the Lego blocks, you can build a castle, a spaceship, or the whole city. And each Lego block is a piece you can hold. See, it has literally turned the entire quantum physics into elements like legal blocks, teeny tiny blocks. You can even see that it is a story. It is saying that there are particles very, very special. And then these tiny particles can be more than one at the same time until we look at them. So it is explaining the quantum physics to a child with the child's mind, the way it would respond. Yeah, I can see smiles. Explain quantum physics to a child. That's nice. I can see these things in the chat. Is this going to limit physical classroom interaction between teacher and student in future is the question. This I can see a lot of MBs, mind blowings. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you are a participant of this. Now we move on to the next slide, which talks about creating HTML and CSS, that we should have some colors like orange and blue. So what I have done is I want to create a website and an e-commerce website and in HTML and CSS. So these are the inputs which I am giving. So what is it? It's an e-commerce. What is it? It's a website. In what language or which technology you're expecting? In HTML and CSS. What are the colors? Orange and blue. So it is taking care of the UI. It is taking care of the backend. And it is going to help us with the actual CSS and the HTML part of it. I'm sure many of you are using this. If you're not, please try it. It will help you to save a lot on website designers, but don't eat up their business. Maybe you can go and tell them, look, hi, my friend, you are a website designer. Try doing this. It will save a lot of your time. Isn't this mind-blowing? Now what has happened is, because I gave the colors yellow and blue, and then it did not give me specific size of the circles. And then I told them, or them is for me, with very, very respect, with lot of other, I talk to ChatGPT because it is the one who knows everything. So in English, we do not have the respect, or the words for respect. And that is the reason why we are using then, which is not to be used. So I asked ChatGPT, give me a variety of circles in variety of shapes and sizes. And it did. So, do you agree that ChatGPT is literally mind-blowing, literally going to help us design the website, help us in the sales and marketing content, help us with our learning course contents? But if we use it in this way, we click on the beta version, we click on the plugins, we activate and download all these plugins. So then, rather than just a tool with the pointed stone and drawing on the cave, now what we have is we have plenty of tools. And I can literally visualize all of you with those tools, the Ayuda. You all are all equipped now. You all have Chat GPT normal, you all have Chat GPT beta, and you can have Chat GPT plugins as well. I know I don't even need to talk about Google Classrooms. It wouldn't sound good, but as I said, it's a part of the session and I would take you through the Google Classroom very, very quickly. A very, very quick overview where you need to type in Google Classroom and there is a plus button where you can see join class, create class. You can click on the join class. I have skipped the sign up and all those things because I'm assuming that is done. And once I join class, I get a class code. If I am a learner, I get it in that way. If I'm a creator, I get it in that way. I got the class code and after that class code, I am clicking on join. I get an email, hello, and you are invited to the class. So after that step, that is join, I get an email where it says hello and the link where you have invited to the class. It shows a screen when I click on the link, as in the normal Gmeet. But then what is different in Google Classroom and the Gmeet is here what we can see, there are number of folders. If you are a teacher, you can see your own course content. If you are a student, you can again see your course content which is downloaded. So it is a bit different till here. After this, it is the same. The normal video camera is starting and ready to join. So are we all there? Are we all there? And are we all there? All 77 of us. It's a very, very nice number, 77. So double digit number, which repeats, is a good number. It is full of energy. And we go on to the MOOC. That is, everybody knows what is MOOC. It's a massive open online courses. Now, while we have all those tools within our hands, like one tool is the ChatGPT, other tool is the Google Classroom, or there are several other tools as well. What we need to really do and really see is, are we adhering with the learner-centric model, the LCM? Everybody knows about it. I don't even need to talk about it. But just as a part of this session, we have to first see to it that the content has lot of learning dialogues in it. Second is, what we are asking to do is learning by doing. So lot of quizzes, lot of puzzles, lot of activities. Even if we are giving online, I can see few chats, and we can share the code via email to join the students the same class code. Yes, that is for Google Classroom, accepted. So now we have moved on to MOOC, wherein what MOOC says, that is, if it's a massive open online courses, what we need to do is we need to go back and check whether the content is in place, whether a lot of activities are given, whether the orchestra is really good, or to put it in other words, are we orchestrating very nicely along with the tools, wherein all the resources are still provided, even if it is online, if it would have been offline, what all resources we would have provided, same resources we should try to provide, rather than just a video or rather than just a course in a PPT. And even if it is a PPT, I would urge, I'm sure you guys are doing it, make it as colorful as it can, because it is going in the eyes of the viewer, the student, the learner, and then it reaches the mind. Because at times they are not able to see you as teachers. Some students, they are very, very efficient. They want to learn more. They are visual learners. They are auditory learners. They are kinesthetic learners. They are experiential learners. So are we taking care of all the learners when we are doing this online learning or MOOC? I'm sure all of us are doing it. No doubt about it. What is the difference between traditional model and LCM model? So here, the lectures and demos, face-to-face lectures are now, we have, what we need to do this, you can just take it as a checklist. The lectures and the demos, replace it with a learning dialogue. So there should be a dialogue in between the trainer and the learner, the teacher and the student, the professor and the user. The assignments and activities to be replaced with learning by doing on the screen. On the screen, they should be given some activities to do, some interactive activities to do. It may be a game-based, it may be a fun-based, it may be a quiz, it may be an activity to do online, any activity, but still it should be by doing. The discussion forums, which otherwise traditional model had, I remember there were group interviews, during those campuses. I'm sure you also have in your colleges. There are group discussions wherein in a room we sit and we ask the students to discuss, and then we judge them with their English, with their communication. But then now those are replaced with the experiential interactions on the screen, the resources which we are going to provide them online, and additional materials, of course, which we call them as learning extension trajectories. Are we good till here? Are we good till here? Yes, 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 yes. Lot of yeses. Do we move on? Do you need 1 minute break? Do you want to drink water, or I continue? Okay, I take it as a yes and I continue. Main question. why I need to do this? ये क्या परेशानी है? Everything is there online. Why I need to even create the course? देख लो आप online जो है वो, है ना? So why I need to do this? How is it I'm going to add value to this? And why is the question which really bothers me as well. Why is this? What exactly it is going to benefit everybody with? So the technology in education, as I said, it's changing to an extent where we have to accept the fact, we have to accept the impact, and we have to accept the role of this third element, which has come, which has been included as a part of this entire story of technology in education. Now here again, the why part of it, we have now jumped into the second compartment from the first compartment. So the first compartment was all about what, where, and when, and we saw the entire journey, the story of it, and then we even saw the new normal tools, which are ChatGPT and Google Classroom. We even played some fun activities over there. Now we are going into a second compartment, which is why. Why is it so important, and what are the benefits of interactive technology? So the benefits which I could see majorly are again only for those two elements. One is the teachers, second is the students. So for the teachers also we should take that advantage of the flexibility. It's given a lot of flexibility even to the teachers. How we can explore as much the different teaching methods and tools to suit their lessons or the students. Initially, it was not there. Initially, it was a very standard syllabus which was given to us, and you won't be able to go beyond that syllabus. You won't be able to collaborate with the students. You won't be able to, go beyond what was really designed. So now it is like flexible. So let's use the flexibility. It is not as rigid as it was. It is just the opposite of rigid now. It is flexible. So it's a lot of benefit to the teachers. The second benefit, very, very important benefit, is it helps the teachers to connect more with the students. So if it was a class of 75, 70, 77, or 60, or 50, it becomes a bit difficult for the teacher to connect with each and every student and talk to them. Whereas here online, I literally connect with each and every one. They send their own assignments to me. I talk to them one on one. If the student wishes to, come and talk to us, they also can approach us because everything is online. So the second major advantage which we can see is we are connecting more and more with the students. It is helping us for a better communication. It is helping us to support them in their learnings. Now, the third benefit is it is allowing us to access more resources. So it is very, very strong benefit or a major benefit, that is teachers, or as teachers, as professors, as trainers, as faculties, we are getting an opportunity to update and grow ourselves, upskill ourselves, update our learning resources, update our courses, which was not there earlier. So if there was a syllabus, it went on for years. Somebody else has done it, we just follow it, we just go and teach the same thing. Or even if we do, at times it was told, no, you're not going to go beyond that structure. अभी तो ऐसे नहीं है. अभी we can access lot of resources, and in fact it is welcomed. It will be taken as that, wow, you are a tech savvy, you are a technology person, you are a AI person, so do it. Take full advantage of this new digital and interactive age. Do you agree to this? Say a yes, thumbs up, MB, whatever you feel. Yes, it makes resources and teachers very much resourceful. Yes, it is. Lot of yes, lot of yes. Thank you so much. How is it benefiting student? Here I look at it when I see my son You also can relate with your own kids or your own relatives, your friends' kids, your neighbors' kids, all the next generation which we are watching. Look at them. Look at what they have got. Like my son, I can see him. I just asked him the other day, what are you doing? He said, I am learning. Oh, is it the way you're learning? He's sitting like this and some mobile in his hand. And he's saying he's learning. But then when I asked him, when I saw it was a very, very important session which he was watching, it was a very, very important video which he explained it to me later on, and which he wouldn't have got this knowledge if the technology in education wouldn't have been there. I hope everybody agrees. I hope everybody is looking at their kids, how smart they are becoming, to even to their students, even to the kids who we can see who were not aware what is the T of technology are now upskilling, updating themselves. One is because it is allowing them with a personalized experience. So, for example, your son does not like history, or he does not like history to be taught the way he is being taught. What he will do is he will go in this device, the mobile, which is called as a mobile or a laptop, and he would see, and okay, so what is this era and what was that era? And he would get to see lot of videos, lot of teachings, and he would capture one of the videos or one of the teachings the way he wants. May it be visual, may it be auditory, may it be experiential, may it be a simple whiteboard sketching. A sir is standing there, a professor is standing there, and he is a ma'am is standing there, but still it is a video and he absorbs. So, what is happening is it is a personalized experience for our kids, for our students. They are free now. Because all of us know one size doesn't fit all. So what is happening is everybody has the privilege to have that premium personalized experience. And that is the biggest advantage of this technology in education. Kids are upskilling and updating themselves. I also observed that lot of communication skills have been updated. Lot of communication skills in the way wherein they are talking to somebody else. He may even be a master or a guru sitting in America or London or in Canada. But your kid has connected with that person. He has communicated. Maybe his English is good or bad, or his French is good or bad, but still he is communicating with him in the best way he can, and he is trying to upskill himself. So, this communication and collaboration has really, really helped with this technology in education. It is helping students to prepare for the future because for us, it is okay. We can limit ourselves with the earlier slides which we saw, that is yesterday and today. And for the future, maybe for next 20 years. But what about our kids? What about the next generation? We have to equip them. They don't have a choice. They are not even maybe going to see the mobiles. You never know what is going to happen. So it is helping them to prepare them for the future. So, remote learning, to summarize the why compartment, the remote learning, let's take it as the new normal. It is as normal as we do our routine work in the throughout the day. It is as normal as that. It has been very, very crucial to education. Look at the highlighted orange words. Those words are really important, and I would suggest if y'all can read this paragraph. It's really very, very important. Maybe you would like to read it for yourself and not listen for me. I'll take a pause. And give me a yes after you finish reading. Yes. So remote learning technology has been crucial to education right now, and it will likely be as critical in the future as schools determine the best way they can move forward. Schools can adopt or offer a combination of remote and in-person learning, and it may be hybrid, it may be remote, or it may be a blended. But this is what it is. So that is summarizing the why part of it. And in a nutshell, technology is an effective tool, very, very effective tool. But if we are using it the way we discussed earlier, that can make education more meaningful and engaging for teachers and students alike. Now we jump on to the how part of it. Are we ready to jump on the how part of it? So we have finished the first compartment, what, when, where. We saw the story, we saw the fact, the impact, the role of this element. Then we even jumped on to the why part of it, and we saw how it is benefiting the teachers and the students more than any other element on this world, on this earth. We even saw the summary of the why part of it. And in a nutshell, we need to effectively use the technology. So when we are saying that, when we are reading that word effectively, means the earlier one which we saw with the case studies in the chat GPT, that we are the experts and only we know what input is to be given to come out with the desired output. And now we move on in the third compartment, that is the how part of it. How would look like this? So again, how will have three compartments, sub-compartments. It would show us what are the best authoring tools. It would also help us making it as engaging as it can. And it would even help us applying the transformative learning. But before that, what do we have? Before we go into the FDP room 2, what do we have? So do we go on with the slides or do we go on with some fun activity? Say a yes if you would like. Slide, no fun activity, no fun activity, no fun activity. Yes, activity, activity, slide and activity. So what I will do is I will listen to the yes and I will listen to the no's. I will respect everybody and I would move on to the next slide, but which is full of activity. So this is the next activity. Again, the same rules. Are you ready? Let's get started. Everybody knows what this is. Without doing chat GPT, give me the answer in the chat. What is a SCORM? Without going into the chat GPT, give me an answer to this. What is a SCORM? You can type your answer in the chat. It's okay even if you do not know, but still you give me some response in the chat from wherein I'll understand whether to proceed or, okay, I got some responses of no, PowerPoint tool, model, no idea, new word, which is perfectly fine. So SCORM typically is a shareable component, which is used. So whenever we prepare some course, we get an opportunity to, one is you save it as a PPT and upload. But second option is the SCORM, because if you save it as a SCORM, if you publish it as a SCORM, what happens is it takes care of the features, something like, the bookmark, the revisiting. So all those things are being taken care of. And this is the answer to SCORM. It's a shareable content object reference model, and it is a set of technical standards for e-learning software products. So if I'm using an authoring product which already has inbuilt SCORM and it is allowing me to publish my SCORM file, I would urge everybody, if I can see the answers like it's a new technology or we do not know it, or no idea, or it is a PowerPoint, I would urge everybody to do some research on this, because it is a very, very new normal again, because SCORM file is the file which goes and sits on the LMS, and it would give lot of privilege to the user, like 1, 2, 3, as I said, it would do the bookmarking and all. Now, earlier when we were using tools like Flash, Adobe Flash, or even like now we are using Articulate, which is a new normal for us when we are designing a course. What it does, in Flash, it was not inbuilt. We used to literally hard code and then save it as a SCORM file. In Articulate, it is inbuilt, wherein they have some features wherein it would help us to create a SCORM file. And then it would be taken care wherein a person comes again, he's revisiting, how many times did he see the course, and the tracking of the course. This is what SCORM does exactly. This is the second activity which we are going through, who developed the world's first learning standard for LMS. So whether it was Gagne, whether it was ADDIE, whether it was Bloom's, or whether it was AICC. You can quickly type in your answers in the chat. Gagne, Bloom's. Okay. 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 So let's see what the correct answer is. Because who developed the world's first learning standard for LMS is the question. And as all of us know, ADDIE is the model wherein when we write the course, that is when we follow the instructional design, we follow the ADDIE model, that is analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. That is a model which every course creator follows, every faculty follows, every instructor follows. Gagne has their own laws. So there are Gagne's 9 laws, which help us while creating the course. We follow some learning methodology. Bloom's taxonomy has certain methodology wherein we have the knowledge, the memory mode, and the application, and the real objective is met or not, those methodologies or the learning theories. Whereas AICC, the Aviation Industry Computer-Based Training Committee, is something who has developed the world's first learning standard for LMS. So it is neither ADDIE, Gagne, nor Bloom's, because they are the learning models or theories. Whereas AICC is an aviation industry, it's a computer-based training committee which takes care of certain standards. And they are the ones who design these standards. And this AICC came into picture in 1990s. And that is how this standard is being made. There are several other standards which we may talk in some advanced level courses. This is again just an overview to give all of you. Which of the following authoring tools do not have watermark? This is the next question in our activity. You can put it in the chat. So when you are creating a course using an authoring tool in iSpring, Movely, ISEZ, or Adapt, which is that authoring tool which does not have a watermark? Any guesses? Please do not use Google. Please do not use ChatGPT. If you do not know, you can respond no. That is perfectly fine, so that I will get an honest answer to proceed with my session. Thank you so much. So it's a no, and some of say ISEZ. The correct answer here is iSpring, because iSpring, yes, iSpring is the tool, authoring tool, which is so flexible, and they have given everything to the world. Now they have launched iSpring Free. The name itself is iSpring Free, and they help us with all types of authoring, but without watermark. You can use it free and upload on the LMS. Of course, maybe you have to give somewhere in the bracket or at the end the references you used and you can type in I spring free. The fourth activity here, which we have, is you have to guess this word, and I'm sure everybody knows this word. This is not as difficult as the earlier ones. Yes, it is pedagogy, and pedagogy is the thing which all the faculties are absolutely following, and we do not have an escape from pedagogy. Thank you so much, and I move on to the next compartment, which is how part of it. Now, here, are we all there set for the how, the third compartment, and almost the last compartment? So we have completed the what, when, where, we have completed the why, we have even gone through the two fun-based activities, which in a way helped us gaining some learning, and maybe we got nostalgic with some words as well, which we were using when we were child. Are we all ready for the how part of it? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you for the thumbs up. So, if I say there are only three tools we have, one is the iMovie, which helps in video creation. Second is the Adobe Premiere Pro, which helps us editing. And there is a live movie maker tutorial, which helps us making the tutorials. How many of us are using these tools? We are using iMovie, we are using Premiere, we are using live movie maker tutorial. So why do we still need the learning tools or authoring tools other than these three? We also have Word and Google Docs. I'm sure we are using those as well. This is another new normal. Everybody is using it. What is the rocket science? Why do I even need to know the authoring tools? These are two more tools which everybody is using. One is Canva and second is Photoshop when it comes to images, photos, audios, when it comes to templates, everybody is using it. So we can create content using all of these tools. Whatever we saw on the earlier slides, we have consolidated everything in this one slide. That is the iMovie, the Premiere Pro, the Live Movie Maker tutorial, the Microsoft Word, the PPTs, the Google Docs, the Photoshop, and the Canvas of the world. Why do we still need the authoring tools? We are bang here. We do not need anything else. We have everything. Plus, we have ChatGPT and we have Google Classroom as well. And we have PowerPoint. PowerPoint is another hero in all this entire story of technology in education. So let's see, why do we need the authoring tools? So if this slide is visible, I thought this is the most important slide. So there is a golden point, right? Or there is some important takeaway from every session, every movie we see, every book we read. So this slide, I would suggest you would relate this slide as the most important takeaway if you wish to. There can be many other takeaways as per the personalized learning, but as per my perception or perspective, this slide would act as the golden slide because there is a confusion, there is a misunderstanding, there are a lot of ideas flowing when we talk about authoring tools and LMS. Isn't it? Say a yes if you agree. Give me a yes if you agree. Lot of confusion in between authoring tools. Which is authoring tool? Which is a LMS? What exactly is happening? Which one do I need to use? Whether I need to use just a PPT or I need to make my course as beautiful as I can, because I need to take care of the students' visual learning. I need to take care of the students' experiential learning. I need to take care of the students' kinesthetic learning, everything. What do I do now? So just keep this slide in front of you, and whichever tool you are using, you put that tool in these two compartments. You categorize them. One is standalone, it is named as standalone, and second is native. So native means focused on delivering content, and standalone means it is not a part of any technology. It is as similar to the earlier tools. It stands alone by all by itself. It is not a LMS. So, for example, I'm using articulate storyline, I'm using Rise, if I'm using Captivate, it is just a tool. It is just a tool. Do not mix it, blend it with a technology. It is just one tool as good as the other tools which we saw earlier. So put your tools in the standalone compartment. And if you are using some technology like Kajabi, Thinkific, Talent LMS, or any other learning management system which has a platform on it, which has the facility to deliver the content and not only create the content, you call it as a native, you put it in that bag. So we have a bag, we have two compartments in the bag, one is standalone and one is native. What your focus is, what your objective is, you are here with a goal to create the course, you put it in that standalone bag. You check whether that tool goes in standalone or native. If you have something to be delivered as well, and not only develop, you put it in that native bag, and then you start with something which is native and not a standalone. Are we good till here? Does this clear off the blurriness, the cloudiness of all the tools which are bursting out on the Google or on the technology or on the YouTube? Yes, I get a yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Now what I do is I get into some tools. Now it is our intelligence, how we put them in the standalone or native. But for now, I will just take you through few tools which I found they are the best tools to be used when we are designing a content. So first one is, no doubt, it is iSpring free because it is free. One, not only because it is free, it comes with a bundle of super advantages. That is, it creates slide-based courses and it creates the courses from scratch. It has MCQs, it has MCRs, it has short answers, you can set the feedbacks, you can convert your own PowerPoint slides into online courses. You can literally maintain the animations and triggers in the PPT. You can populate the slides, you name it, and it is there. And also it is without watermark. So the only thing is you have to go on the website and you have to download it. So I have just captured a screenshot for you. Again, I am not taking you through the live URL because if there is a weak network, I don't want to lose on the flow of the session. This is a screenshot for all of you. This is the URL, ispringsolutions.com, iSprings-free. You can just enter your email, click download for free. It comes on your laptop. You can explore and experiment with iSpring free. It is mind-blowing, let me tell you, if you all have not used it. How many of you have used iSpring? Please say yes. If you have not used MB, that is mind-blowing. So let's give a MB for iSpring. Thank you so much. I move on to the next tool, which is Udutu. I hope everybody knows about it because the main feature is what you see is what you get. That is the main feature of Udutu. And that is the tool which helps us in assessments, creating lot of assessments, question banks, branching scenarios. It is similar to, more or less similar to iSpring free. I'm sorry for the spelling. It's iSpring free. Convert PowerPoint slides into online courses, except for if you have to create it to publish it on some LMS, you may not need the watermarks. That is the watermark which comes with the name of logo of Udutu. then you have to go and buy the paid version. That is the only difference between iSpring and Udutu. This is how the Udutu platform or the website looks. What you have to do is you have to either schedule a demo, they will help you with a beautiful professional demo, or you have to simply log in and you can see all the products and the platform details. They also have something like try for free. So I would urge everybody to try for free Udutu with all these features, wherein they have instantly conversion of PowerPoint tools, instantly implementing branching scenarios, and instantly accessing Udutu's assessments and quiz. Now, once again, the question arises, why do we use this? We already have PowerPoint, we already have iMaker, we already have Movie Maker, but these tools are giving us much more than the earlier one. And second, this is the need because we are trying to align the personalized training or personalized learning over here. And that is the reason we need these tools, because these tools have already done the homework for us. They have already done the research. What is the learner really wanting today? And that is the reason our job is just to align ourselves with these tools. That's it. The third tool is ISEZ, and it is again the most brilliant tool because it is a slide-based course content creator. It is SCORM compliant. The SCORM, you remember we saw in that fun activity. So it takes care of the SCORM compliances. It has ready-made templates with text, images, and videos. So we really don't need to even bother about creating the text, creating the images, creating the videos. It has interactive elements, except for there are two cons to it. That is only 3 projects per author. And without logo watermark, again, it is a paid version like Udutu. That is, these two are the only 2 cons to it. This is how it looks. And they are here with a very, very happy face and exciting, expression, wherein what they are trying to tell us is we are here to make your digital education content absolutely interesting and exciting. The fourth tool is the Adapt tool. Again, Adapt here has so many advantages to offer us. It is open source tool for rapid authoring. It has plugins to it, which I did not see in the earlier ones. It has a lot of plugins, and I would again suggest if you all could deep dive into this Adapt, which I could not due to the time limitation, but I would suggest you should deep dive into Adapt. It supports variety of languages, except for it has some limitations like limited animations, linear navigations. Again, it is Watermark's paid version. This is how Adapt looks. It also gives you an option of whether you are a creator or you are a developer. So for example, you want to create beautiful e-learning courses with no programming. I just want to create a course, but enhanced course, enhanced or upskilled or updated or upgraded than my normal PPTs. My courses need to be available on any devices and I need to keep it within the budget. So I need to download the Adapt authoring tool. If I need to have responsive HTML5 e-learnings, I want a powerful, flexible framework and with plugins, and I need some open source codes, then I have to download the Adapt framework tool. So please explore Adapt as well. The next one, of course, is the Course Lab, which I'm sure everybody is using Course Lab because that is quite an old tool. Again, it is SCORM AICC compliant. So it takes care of the standards which are being set for our technology in education theories. It is good for tech gigs because lot of images and videos. So those who love to do all those, exploration and try and error method, please go for Course Lab. Except for, their UI, I found it is not a bit to the mark. It is a bit outdated. The UI looks outdated, but the results are really very good. It requires JavaScript, Shockwave, Real Player even today, but let's keep them aside and let's just use the course content. So that is okay with us. There is another tool which is called as a Glow Maker, and it is aligned with the AI thing when it comes to built-in patterns and variety of templates. Of course, the UI of the tool itself is a bit outdated and it supports only 2 quizzes or 2 questions per quiz. It does not work without Adobe Air, but which is fine. If you have some facility to save it in a format which would be compliant with your LMS, this tool perfectly works fine. It has a photo display with Zoom facility. That is what is the positive part of this, with a slideshow viewer, and it has pedagogical guides with examples. This I found is really amazing. It also creates sequence of online learning activities. So it is as good as helping me with the pedagogical learning theories, and it is literally being my guide when I'm designing a course. The other one or the next one is H5P. What happens in H5P typically? It is an open source cloud-based tool, and it actually can be published on popular platforms like WordPress, Moodle, Drupal. So any platform, it is very flexible. Any platform it can be published or uploaded. And the content can be added to any LMS that supports LTI. Again, in this slide, I would urge to look at this point number 3. Whenever we are creating an online session, some reading material, some PDFs, some Word, some PPT, or some typically animated game-based quizzes, I guess we need to keep an eye whether it connects and enables communication between various e-learning applications and platforms in a standardized way. So whether it supports LTI or not is the main thing which we can jot it down and then go and select the tool. It has flashcards, unbelievable flashcards. It has an open API which makes it mobile friendly, except for the cons are it has only 2 questions and no preview, less communication. The next is Movely. I love this Movely because it is a very, very good fit for creating training videos, creating videos by uploading our PPTs published to YouTube, Vimeo. It has its own Movely gallery also. Please try Movely. It creates tutorials by using our photos, screenshots, footages, voice. It leverages the huge built-in library. Can you believe it has 1.3 million images, sound, stock videos already? And again, content can be supportive of LTI. For webcam, it is a paid version. And the 9th authoring tool, which I would like you to explore, is Adaptive View. Adaptive View is similar to the earlier courses, except for it even has quick knowledge checks in between to add, create lessons under courses, and information in smaller chunks. So again, it is taking care of the pedagogy. What it is doing is it is not outbursting the knowledge. What it is doing, it is allowing you to make your course simpler, chunk it in smaller bites. And it creates web page style courses similar to Articulate Rise. That is another one. Before we move on to the next, which tool do you think you should try? Can you just type in? I can see somebody has mentioned, very informative, ma'am. Must share the PPT, ma'am. It will be very helpful. Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Anything else? Out of these 9 tools, which tool or which one tool you feel that this really, really inspires me to go and check after this session? Start with iSpring Free, Adapt, okay. Anybody for Movely? Anybody for iSpring Free? Anybody for Udo2? Okay, iSpring is the most loving tool, I guess. Yes, great. So after this session, the first thing which all of us need to do is go and log in on iSpring. Of course, I am not a marketing person of iSpring or Udo2 or Adapt. I am nobody. I'm just helping everybody to use or to search or to find some tools which are already there so that you don't spend time again searching those tools. Now, as we discussed earlier, because we have all these tools, we have all these ayudas, we have all these vehicles with us, what is that we really need to every time keep it at the back of our mind and then use the tools. So there are three learning theories which all of us are aware of, which is behaviorism. I know the second and third, all of you know, but let me finish with the behaviorism one, wherein while I am designing the content, we need to take care that the conditioning of whoever the learner is would be on the stimuli, response, stimuli, take the feedback, and whether the instructions are provided. So throughout the content which we are creating or some other tool is creating for us, may it be ChatGPT, may it be iSpring, we have to, as experts, as SMEs, we have to take care to follow the behaviorism learning theory. The second learning theory is cognitivism, because this is the major parameter which really acts as, it's very, very instrumental, because it actually receives the information which we are trying to give to the student. Whether that information is organized, only then it will be stored. Otherwise, it will be vanished. If it is all over the place, if it is not organized, if it is not sequenced, then it will be vanished, because that is how the mind thinks. And that is the reason why our information should be chunked and sequenced when it comes to content. And the third but not the least learning theory is constructivism, wherein when we talk about the knowledge, the knowledge, we need to have prescribed principles, the embedded learning needs to be there, the social negotiation should also be there, along with the multiple modes of representation. So how are we presenting it? And here we have a slide about presentation. So we have the information, we have received it because it was easier to grasp, because it had visuals, it had audio, it had video, it was very organized, and we could store it in our mind forever. We will never forget. You remember there are few classes which we had attended when we were young, when we were kids. How many of you still remember the way your teacher taught some lessons when we were in school or colleges? Any typical subject or topic or session? Any names? History, geography, or Java or PHP? Any sessions which anybody would like to put it in the chat? Which is still stored. Still remember chemistry and maths, I can see. Poetry, wow. Yes, even I remember our teachers who taught us with full passion, but then they followed, I'm sure, all these theories, which comes as the three learning theories, because they knew that the knowledge which is being given is being absorbed or received, and due to the response and the stimuli interactive mode, it is being stored forever because it was organized and it was presented in a way wherein it had to be stored by the mind because it has reached till wherever it had to reach and not at a superficial level. So what is all this we are talking about? What the ISTE standards for learning is saying is you have to just have one objective. Forget about everything else. How to make it? You have to have just one objective, and that is empower students. Empower them. दे दो जो भी है ज्ञान बट रहा है ज्ञान आपके पास है दे दो you will get it all the more. You give it to them whatever you have, you make yourself empty, and then you will have some space to actually have more or upskill or upgrade more. Otherwise the students won't get empowered, and that is the whole idea of ISTE, to make a transformative learning. I would also urge that you go and visit the ISTE, and wherein what they are saying is these are their objectives when they talk about their standards and substandards. They want empowered learners. They want digital citizens. Look at this, what they are calling, not senior citizens, only citizens. They want digital citizens. They want knowledge constructors. They want innovative designers. They want computational thinkers. They want creative communicators, and they want global collaborators. What an ambitious plan they have. And we are here completely responsible to be here to help them making or aligning to their objectives. So what we have seen is we need to apply them when we set up a virtual classroom. One, we need to have all those tools. Second, we need to apply the theories. And third, we need to take care of the goals and objectives with which the ISTE is setting up for us. This is just for fun. I thought to take the screenshot of a global digital library. The reason being, this has been uploaded on UNICEF. And here you can read somewhere that this is the author is an Indian. I was so proud, you know. It's written by Hari Kumar Nair, sir. And this is Pratham Books, and it has been uploaded on UNICEF website. It's unbelievable the way the digital learnings have been uploaded in story form, in visual form, in dialogue form. Amazing it is. You should go and visit their global digital library. Very, very quickly, while we are coming to the end of this session, I will just give you some takeaways like do's and don'ts and summary, and then I would hand it over to another expert, Amit sir. I hope he's there and he's still waiting, and I hope I have not eaten up the time. Amit sir, you're there because I'm almost at the end of the lecture here.
Hello, very much here.
No, so just give me a yes in the chat.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So I will just finish with a couple of slides wherein they talk about the do's and don'ts. Like now, whatever we discussed, how part of it, there are so many tools. Which tool do we use? How do we make a choice? There is so much of knowledge flowing all over. So the e-learning softwares, for example, I have 12 e-learning softwares or the technology or the tools or the LMS, whatever you name it as, the type of solution has been categorized for us. So if you want a video authoring tool, you can go for Camtasia. If you want an authoring suite, complete suite, that is, so complete suite is, one is create the content, then publish it as a LMS, and also the videos can be done. So it is a complete suite for you. Also the languages, multilingual is there. Only authoring tool, so also it gives us the quality of output, speed and efficiency and scalability. If you wish, I will ask ma'am to help you with such templates of do's and don'ts. Give me a yes if you would like to. This is another checklist which talks about the FAQs. So when should I integrate the technology? Will this help all students? So what we can do is before even I jump on some tool, you just say a yes or no to this checklist. This checklist is I have done research, I have found this is a curated content. What you need to do is just write your response to it. For example, I have even given you examples and write yes, no. For example, we select iSpring, then write whether this tech lead to non-productive struggle or it will lead to frustration to a student. What is your response to this? You write because you will do the research first and then you will use that tool. So this is a checklist which you need to actually write your response, yes or no, against all these 10 questions which act as FAQs. A very, very important thing about do's and don'ts, take care of the plagiarism because we know the content is all over the place. We are doing a lot of copy paste. What is plagiarism? All of us know. So I see a content, I just click on copy over here, I click on paste over here, and that is a plagiarism. What is the solution for that? Because nowadays we can't stop copying and pasting. That is again a part of everything because the content is everywhere. ChatGPT is everywhere. But solution number one is if I have used this quote here, what I do is I provide reference. I provide reference to it at the end of the presentation, at the end of the paper, at the end of the course. It's perfectly fine. I'm providing reference, but that is because I'm giving you curated content. I have taken the efforts to go all over the place, search the content which is suitable for you, and I'm giving it to you. It's perfectly fine. So that is solution number one. Solution number two, there is a tool again. I'm sure everybody knows about it. And I'm a big fan of Drillbit because Drillbit allows us to do a quick check. It actually helps us with the percentage. 70% content is plagiarized. 20% content is plagiarized. So it really helps us. So I would urge everybody to go for these two solutions. And then what's next? FDP room number 3, everybody is ready. Come on, now we are much more equipped. Which technology tool is commonly used to create multimedia presentations? Quick, 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 quick. Canva, okay. So for multimedia presentations, yes, I will answer all your questions maybe during the Q&A sessions, but right now, I'm just trying to help you with this fun activity. And the answer to that is Prezi. So rather than Canva for multimedia, please try using Prezi tool. The next question here is, which technology allows for real-time collaboration and document sharing among teachers and students? Quick, quick, quick. Virtual reality, LMS, AR, Google Docs. Which technology allows for real-time collaboration and document? Google Docs, okay. Google Docs, okay. So here, the latest technology which allows is VR and not Google Docs, because Google Docs has limitations which does not allow the collaboration which is required for this technology. Which of the following is an example of formative assessment tool? This is very easy. I know everybody knows about it. It is formative assessment tool. So we have formative, we have summative, and which tool or which is the following example for formative assessment tool is Pop Quiz. Everybody knows about it. It is not LMS, it is not Google Docs, it is Pop Quiz. That is the normal example or the example for. Now you can you see this? Because I have the chat window. Can you guess the word? Yes. Like pedagogy, this is very simple. This is instruction, and all of us are supposed to be instructors so that the students would really follow a very, very seamless learning experience. So what's next? Next is nothing. It is digital learning. It is, I don't have anything else to let you know because everybody knows about this. It is not a secret. It is digital learning. And as David Warlick, who is a great, great educator and author, says, we need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand because it is the pen and paper of our time. And it is the lens through which we experience much of our world. I would like you to take half a minute and read it again. I'll wait. And let me know once you finish reading and absorbing within yourself. Done? Give me a yes, give me a MB, give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. So to summarize, we saw what, when, where, we saw why, and we saw how, along with the templates of checklist and tools and the FAQs. So I would pause it over here. I will stop sharing and I would give the control to Amit sir, who is a super expert, and I'm sure you would enjoy his session equally. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wow, what an incredible presentation and what an enthusiastic participants we have today. Your active participation and engagement have truly enhanced the energy of this session. In audience, we have our Chief Operations Colonel Nikhil Vaidya sir also, who actively participated in the session. Thank you, sir, for joining. Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening this presentation. Your insights have certainly enriched our understanding of the topic and inspired us to explore a new avenues of our educational endeavors. Your depth of knowledge and passion for the subject were evident throughout the session. And we are truly grateful for your wealth of wisdom you have shared with us today. We look forward to implementing the valuable lessons learned from your presentations into our professional practices. Now, furthermore, I'm excited to announce that we have a special surprise for all of you. We will be introducing an industry expert as a notable industry influencer, adding more value to today's session. So please stay tuned for this exciting addition. Please allow me to introduce Mr. Amit Dapke, a seasoned corporate leader with over 23 years of experience in learning and development, HR, sales, quality, CRM. Currently serving as a Vice President HR and training at Kuritsu Electric India. Mr. Dapke has demonstrated his prowess in setting up and leading L&D departments from scratch, transitioning processes globally and establishing centers of excellence focused on enhancing operational efficiency. With a diverse skill set, including certifications as an EQCXO coach, depression healing counselor, NLP practitioner, Mr. Dapke excels in mentoring, training, and strategic leadership roles. We are privileged to have him join us today. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. I request you to share your valuable thoughts in this session and guide us.
Thank you, Dr. Sunita. Once again, my congratulations to Dr. Shilpa for such a wonderful session. It was so well constructed with the flow, and of course with your awesome orchestration. I'm glad to be a student here. Yes, while thank you, Dr. Sunita, for mentioning me as a special surprise. I hope I surprised too. Today, with all the 72 participants that we have here, since we have been talking a lot, which is of course the need of the hour, which is technology, understanding technology as well as imbibing technology as a part of our daily chores, especially being a facilitator. So here, I just wanted to bring everyone's attention to the table by again stating that while technology is super important, we also need to understand that we as humans continue to play a very pivotal role in running this technology. COVID has taught us that yes, while technology is important, but the drivers of technology continue to be humans. Especially from a training learning perspective, it is us as trainers, facilitators, professors, that we are able to orchestrate the session in a certain way, which is not only engaging, but also very informative. So since morning, Dr. Shilpa has spoken about the just a gist of it in the importance of storytelling and stuff like this. I would want to bring your attention to the art of active listening. So it is just that I keep saying this. It's we have one mouth and 2 ears, and especially in today's world, wherein a person who is conducting training cannot be a strict teacher, but necessarily a facilitator. So in order to facilitate learning more effectively, more efficiently, active listening is the key. Having said that, I also want to highlight that active listening also involves non-verbal cues. So today, instead of starting with a presentation, I thought of taking a cue from Dr. Shilpa. How about starting this session with the storytelling, and then there will be a little twist to the storytelling, which will end in the form of a quiz. So anticipating the participants' readiness on this, let me relay an exciting, interesting, intriguing story. Well, the story is, since, we have been also speaking about the importance of, revisiting our childhood and, seeing the real magic of of we being the most innocent ones and then laughing at all each time, every time. It was always easier for us to make friends. So with this, it reminds me about the story of Chota Bheem. Yes, you heard it right. So once upon a time, Chota Bheem and his gang of friends did visit the king of that village, and that village was called. Uh, what was the name of the village? Dholakpur. Yeah, sure. Dholakpur was the name of the village. So while everyone was having breakfast in that village, the king started saying, while I'm happy with the progress of our village, I want to invite each one of you, Mr. Chota Bheem and all the gang of your friends. How can we enhance the brand image of Dholakpur? With this, I also announce, Amit Dabke, I also announce that this storytelling needs a lot of active listening, because at the end of the story, once the story is complete, I will be asking each of the participants to make a simple choice. Okay, can I have a thumbs up? All right. Okay. Um, so thank you. So, well, the king started saying that every year on year, we are having a fun fair in our village. Can you do something about it? Listening to this, Chota Bheem immediately devoured a laddu and started thinking. He said, yes, because year on year, we have this Mela or the fun fair. This year will make this the great grand Mela or the biggest fair ever, in which we will not only invite the villagers from our very own village, but we will make sure all the neighboring villages are also invited in a celebrated manner. Now, all you dear participants, I invite each one of you to imagine, visualize the scene of the great grand Mela or the great grand fair. What all do you visualize? Can you type in very quickly? What all do you visualize? Okay. Absolutely. Crowd, shops. Absolutely. Rides, of course. So many shops and so many people, fun, games, of course. Fantastic. Well dressed. Oh, that's awesome. Absolutely. Games, the gunshot games. Someone is, having the pani puri, bhel puri, and people are just joining in, enjoying. There are fun rides, and yes, you're right. Of course, with the jalebi. And yes, you know what? While this crowd is getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, everyone is enjoying. So are there multiple friends, families who are coming in. In what such event, there is also a mother and a son. They have also come into that mela, want to enjoy. Suddenly, here is what happens. Taking a cue from the 1970s Manmohan Desai movies, which was famous for its lost and found formula, just like in any other mela, this is what happens with that mother and the son. Yes, you guessed it right. The mother and the son get separated from each other. The mother is calling for the son is looking for the mother. So now I invite each of the participants to take one moment to decide whose mistake it was because of which the mother and the son got separated from each other. I would want, yes, great. All right. So now I want each one of you to type in your own responses. So as Dr. Rakesh Mehra is saying, in his opinion, it is the son's mistake. Someone is saying it's the mistake of both. Are there any other thoughts? Distraction, both, mistake of the organizers. Okay, fantastic. Situation, crowd, absolutely fantastic. All right. So now, if this was a non-virtual session, no technology like mobile, of course. Yeah, sure, it can be. Lack of means of communication can also be all right. Okay, that's a lovely thought, by the way, Rita. Thank you for expressing it. So if this was a non-virtual session, and imagine all of us would be gathered in this room, I would then ask each one of you to do some shopping. As in, I would ask you to reach out to your like-minded people, as in people who are having similar opinions like yours, so that we could make up groups. Son's mistake, one group. Mother's mistake, another group. Organizer's mistake, no technology being itself a mistake, and groups like these. While this is happening, I would then urge you to increase the head count of your own group. Needless to say, there will be a lot of fierce competition in which each group would try to make their point as to why they think they are right. However, please accept my apology of playing with your mind. The moment I said great grand mela, I invited each one of you to visualize. You did it right. You visualized on the basis of what you have seen until now. And you have already made your opinion. However, here is what I had said at the beginning of this story. I had said, after my story is complete, then you can make an opinion. So communication, which is so very vital, it becomes successful only when the communication is two-way. Would that help if one of you would ask me that question, is the story complete? Because I never announced that the story is complete. This is exactly what happens once we are in discussion. By the way, while visualizing, maybe many of you would have also compartmentalized the mother and the son on the basis of their age. Someone would have also referred the son as a child. Whereas the reality was the mother was 55 years old and the son was 23 years old, and the mother was deaf and blind. So what the point that I'm trying to bring here, while of course this story is just a metaphor, the point that I want to bring here is, with the help of maybe allow me to share the screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So wherein it says that listen carefully, but the decision should always be yours. Many a times you would be coming across a group of students, a group of new students, wherein there is a lot of emphasis offered to you on the way you are expected to orchestrate a training program versus how do you choose to do it. And there is another school of thought that says nothing will ever be attempted if all possible objections must first be overcome. So that does not matter if, even if you are well prepared or not well prepared, because at the end of the day, with my limited experience, I have learned that orchestration of a training program, or even or conducting a lecture with students, is also all about theatrical skills. So what are theatrical skills? It is nothing to do with like you in acting, but yes, you performing the role of a real facilitator through active listening. As I am just trying to put this, that hearing is passive and it occurs while we sleep, but listening is active and involves hearing, paying attention, and understanding. Most importantly, it also involves confirming our understanding, making sure that the communication is two-way. What could be the benefits of active listening? Reducing tension, clear the air. You can learn by listening, which I'm assuming we all are doing right now. Listening can win friends, better work and cooperation from others. Many a times what also happens is, especially once we are scaling up the ladder in terms of our experience, in terms of our overall knowledge gathering, it has also been observed that many a times we may feel that it is the students who are here to learn and I'm here to offer the learning. However, the fact of the matter is we all can also learn so many things from students. I do it on a near regular basis. That helps you in making better decisions. So how can you be an active listener, or may I say, how can we be an active listener? Because I'm also working towards it. It's perhaps by avoiding some of the most common bad habits that we all have. Of course, the degree would be different from a person to person. As Dr. Shilpa said, one size does not fit all. First, by jumping to conclusions. The moment I heard the story, perhaps based on my own experience, I have decided that yes, this should be the end. Whereas it could be a different story altogether. Second, being impatient and not waiting for the speaker to finish his or her sentence. And here, the speaker can also be a student or the participant who is chosen to attend your lecture workshop. Third, rehearsing. That is mentally practicing what you want to say next. Fourth, choosing what to listen and how much to discount or what to ignore. Most important, blindly agreeing with everything is also not active listening. It would be a great idea to invite your participants to communicate openly, to express their thoughts, their opinions. In this way, the communication is not only concrete, it becomes more interactive. So, as I said, this is my last slide, by the way. And, it says that, as I mentioned, that active listening also involves a lot of non-verbal cues. While you may choose to pay attention to while you're delivering, conducting a lecture, regardless online or offline. But of course, the impact offline is always much higher. You will find participants who are leaning back in chair or perhaps leaning forward in chair. So leaning forward in chair is more expressing their interest in the topic. A facial expression that conveys an emotion, a facial expression that conveys a serious, light-hearted, or an intense presence of mind. Yawning, nodding. So it is a great engine way of nodding. People, I have experienced this, and I would want to ask about your own experience as well. When you ask something and people choose to give a non-verbal reply, and you say, "Oh, did you follow?" Yes. So shaking, it is very confusing. Is it a yes or is it a no? Resting chin in hands, tapping fingers on the table, looking at the watch. Last but not the least, gazing around the room. So, let me take this as an opportunity to re-announce myself a student. I see, because as I see here, a battery of fantastic professors, trainers, facilitators here. So with this, I invite each one of you to, to share our learning with each other. I also invite you to stay connected with me online, because we've learned the importance of online learning, and I would like to continue learning online as well. That is from me. My name is Amit Dapke. So by the way, I spell my name as AMIIT, and it has nothing to do with numerology. It is more to do with my association with IIT Bombay. Thank you once again. Over to you, Dr. Sunita.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable inputs. Surely, being an academician and being a teacher, we should take care of verbal and non-verbal communications always. We should be a good listener always. So I'm sure everyone is following these things while taking their classroom sessions. Now we are open for question and answer session. I'll request both our speakers for today. Please be there for answering the questions. And I'll request everyone to unmute yourself and you can ask your questions. I'll request everyone, please be there till the end of the session, as there is one more small announcement from our end. So please be there. Yes, over to you, participants.
Am I allowed to speak, ma'am?
Sure, ma'am, yes.
So I'm from Jil Bajar, Mathura. I don't know whether the expectation was different, but I was expecting a lot of hands-on about these technologies with which we can make the course content and those other things. So that was, I think, that was mismatch in expectation.
Okay, from this point of view, I think before speakers, I can give answer of this. As this is a faculty development program, surely Soon we are going to arrange a workshop, full day workshop on the same topic, where we would like to request people to participate in this, because once we are there in the workshop, a full day we will be getting, and we will be doing a hands-on experiments also in the workshop. Yes, Prabhu ma'am. Anyone?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is there any limit of number of students for Google Classroom? How many students can join in a classroom, Google Classroom?
Prabhu ma'am, Amit sir.
Actually, Shilpa ma'am has taught us about Google Classroom and all.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Now, oh, I was on mute, and yes. So what was that?
Actually, we deal with more than 500 students in a classroom. I
Okay.
am from a college.
Okay.
So while using Google Classroom for any quiz and all, student could not join. More than 200 student could not join. So is there any limit in Google Classroom?
Correct. So actually what it does is, for a workplace or colleges, like you mentioned, for an account, you need 50. There is a limitation, you rightly said. It's 50. And if you have a personal Google account, then also it shows as 50. And for class members, teachers and students, for a workspace, you can range it from 250 as a personal account and 1000 as a school account. So I'm not sure which account right now you are using, whether it is a personal account or it is a school account. And you will be able to see their maximum per day numbers also, how many classes you can join or how many classes you can create. So how many classes you can create is a no limit if you are having a Google Workspace or school account. But if it is a personal Google account, then you can have 20 to 30 per day.
Personnel, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Most welcome.
Here is another question in chat box that Deepanjan is asking about this. To what extent ChatGPT can be used for making research content? Is it coming under plagiarism?
Yes. So Deepanjan sir, again the same answer, to put it in a different way, that if it is we are using ChatGPT, like we saw the copy paste of it. Literally, we have seen, although not live, but the screenshots. The one solution is you use Drillbit as much as you can. And second is put it as a reference, because it is your research. So it's absolutely fine. What ChatGPT is doing also, it is pulling from places. So at times, if you copy paste the same content, even in Google, you will get to see from where the references are. So I would suggest, one is you put it as a reference, that this is the reference which I have used for my research. And second is, please use Drillbit or any plagiarism tools. That would really help you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
If any other question, please ask.
Ma'am, what was the ChatGPT version we were using during the this workshop, this session, ma'am?
Okay. So, ma'am, ChatGPT, what it does is it comes up with new versions, almost like, I shouldn't be over saying it, but it is saying like, it comes up every day. What we have seen in this session is ChatGPT 3.53 and 4, and also explained the pros and cons. Also, we have seen the settings where you can literally go and change the settings. You can actually click on the beta version. So if you're using 3 or 3.4 and then also clicking on beta, you may be able to see the beta version of it. You are clicking on the plugins, you will be able to see the plugins also. So it all depends which version we would like to use. So they have kept it all open and free for us, ma'am.
Can we call it as the end of questions if there are no one is
Yeah.
asking?
So I can see one more question in the chat.
Yeah.
From
Yes, ma'am. There are some question in chat box.
Yes, from Dr. Sangeet. Yeah. So I don't think there are any limitations when it comes to the domain or sectors or topic, may it be medical or science or engineering. What we could do in purview of time, and because this is a faculty development program and not a workshop, what we did is we just took you through the focusing more on the faculties and the learnings and the students and aligning with our learning objectives. But yes, definitely, if you would like to use it for Ayush and medical courses, it is again open. It is open to us. So, I would like to give you a case study, Dr. Sangeet, sir, or ma'am, I'm not sure. I'm sorry for that. But the other day, I was working with a subject matter expert who is designing a course for or a course for Ayush, and the topic is Garbhadharana. So the culture which has to be imbibed even when a child is yet to be born, even when the woman is carrying, she's pregnant. And at that point of time, the culture, the samskars, the garbha samskars need to be done. And we are coming with a course with that SME. And you will not believe there is so much of content even on all these tools. So it really doesn't matter which content, which topic, which subject, sorry, which we are trying to use.
Ma'am, there are more few questions in chat box also. Please
Yes.
books
It will be
platform.
great to receive all URL links through email. I would certainly share the the website URLs, Kashyap Parekh sir. Second is, I would also like to share, because I saw quickly in the chat when I was sharing the templates. If you would like to, I would share the templates as well, the checklist, the FAQs, the do's and don'ts, which would be as a ready reference for you. And you will have to not worry about, the searching part. Thank you. I'm just going through the chat if I have missed out on any questions. Will there be workshops for the technology being told today to us? So I guess Dr. Sunita ma'am has answered this, that this is a faculty development program, and we would definitely like to create or conduct a workshop as well. We would really be happy. And any question I have missed out? The use of technology should be given yes, we take it as a feedback that we would certainly like, see, because this is a limited 3 hours faculty development program, that too online. So Dr. Sunita ma'am, we would take this very, very positively as a feedback that we would like to conduct a workshop.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other question which I have missed out? Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes,
Ma'am,
sir.
Chat GPT is compatible in iPhone or Android on both.
Yes. So it doesn't have any device limitations. So that is, you can just open it on mobile, and then you can sign up as your own Google, or you can create your own account. So it is a responsive technology.
Okay. Which commands which we use in the workshop, that like HTML print, is it compatible in phone also?
Yes, so see, it really doesn't matter which device we are using. So, for example, if we are already, I've shown on the screen as well. All said and done, if I am a programmer and I need to program or I need some code in HTML and CSS to design a website in e-commerce, I would definitely not use mobile if I am a programmer. I would use a big screen where I can see the CSS and I would use the laptop. So as discussed in the earlier presentations, it is up to us what is the objective and what is the input we give and what are the devices we use for the output which is desired. So I would suggest if you are a programmer, you please use a laptop, although yes, you will be able to see it on a mobile.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vishal sir. No problem.
Thank you, everyone. As now it's end of FDP, I request Dr. Uttara Devulankar, Associate Professor, Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning. Dr. Uttara is in the teaching field for last 25 years. She has completed her doctoral degree in educational technology from SNDT University, Mumbai. She has vivid experience in teaching educational technology, psychological counseling, instructional design, educational administrations, and soft skills. I request Dr. Uttara to propose vote of thanks.
Yes, so thank you, Sunita ma'am, for all those lovely and very motivating words. And as we come to the end of this interactive and informative FDP, I would like to take this opportunity for introducing our programs, that is Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning Programs, which would really add a wealth of knowledge to all of you as faculties. So we have a few programs where I like to just share the screen with all of you all. Yes. Is the screen available to everyone?
It's visible, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have the first program which I'd like to share with all of you all is the instructional design program. It is a one-year program which will explore all of you all to convert the textual matter into the e-learning modules. As it was rightfully even explained by Dr. Shilpa madam also, because this is the part which has taken up the world, especially when we come across the situation where no longer the face-to-face teaching is much more prevalent, but it has been turned over to the e-learning modules. So this is one of the program, a one-year course, and you will get in a lot of information onto our website, that is www.scdl.net. SCDL stands for Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning. This program further onto 2 semesters, as you can see, primarily a lot of information onto what exactly is instructional design. And further, we move on to the advanced instructional design, where you will get an opportunity to know the different modules and principles and theories which are required for preparing an e-learning module. Onto this note, there are a few more. One of them is the 2-year program, PG Diploma in Educational Administration. As we are all faculties, we would like to also put in our services onto the admin part of any educational organization. So it might be schools, colleges of any type, like management institution, or maybe medical or pharmaceutical, paramedical, or it can be any of the universities where you would like to render in your services. So this course is very apt for those. And certainly a 2-year course where we have 4 semesters, starting from the concepts of education to evaluation practices and effective communication with what is the meaning of inclusive education. A lot of importance here given on inclusion, where every person in the society should be getting an opportunity to get in education. With the third semester of enumerating with what are the infrastructural resources, with a lot of importance onto value-based education, because in today's world, it is no longer that we are only intelligent onto the intelligent portion. But with that, we also have to carry over the moral education part also. And we cannot forget about the legal aspects with quality assurance, which are the ever needed aspects of running of an educational organization. And then lastly, we come to the fourth semester with the importance of community development, with guidance and counseling. And the happening subject of today's world is what is happening in the other part of the globe. And that is certainly internationalization of education, where we end with the whole program with to-do activity sort of an course where you get an opportunity to put all these concepts and theories into practice. It is certainly the action research. Every semester will end up with a to-do activity, hands-on activity, which says the submissions. Okay. Next of all, there are two counseling courses also, which are ever needed in the educational field, which where we will be mending. The first one is the psychological counseling, where we certainly will be mending the people who are in distress, who are in discomfort. So what could be the ways for letting them to lead a healthier, a happier, and also a normal life? Here, a one-year program of 2 semesters where we start with the basics, with the skilling part, the introduction of abnormal psychology, where we should be knowing the difference between what is normal and abnormal. So that is the first, basic concepts of this course, followed by the second semester where we'll be discussing the different approaches of how you will be counseling the students or maybe the people who are in distress. Secondly, we have got another course called school counseling, which is not having a huge scope as what we discuss in psychological counseling. But school counseling is restricted to all the stakeholders which come under an educational institution. So when it comes to school, it is not the standard 1 to 10 schooling part, but any place where training and education is given. So here, after undergoing this course, the basic goal will be to counsel in the students, the teachers, the non-teaching staff, everyone who comes under the umbrella of the teaching umbrella. So this is also a one-year course called as PG Diploma in School Counseling. And another course which we have is the pre-primary teacher training course. A very beautifully planned course which is meant for all the participants who would like to be mentoring the younger toddlers. Okay. Now, according to the NEP 2020, certainly the younger toddlers will be put under the category of starting from the pre-primary stages to standard 2. So these participants who will be undertaking this course will be establishing themselves as pre-primary teachers, or even they can start off with their own pre-primary school. They can also maintain the special needs children, maybe the physically handicapped or maybe the mentally handicapped or the gifted children also. So this course also a very beautifully planned course. I needed to say that all our courses will be having a touch of the NEP 2020, which happens to be the cup of tea when it comes to faculties, because we have to refer to a policy, the National Education Policy, which has been revised just a few years before 2020 and which will be implementing throughout in the coming future. So the very important, yes, and another course which we have is the PGCDT, that is Design Thinking course. Again, a very beautifully planned course which will really ignite ideas of design thinking and put them actually into practice, for marketing the products and seeing that everything is into the track of success. So a 2-semester course of 1 year. And a very big announcement which I would like to take here is that till 27th of March, you will be getting a 500 rupee discount and off. The code will be ICT SCDL 500. So in case if anyone wants to get in counsel, please put an yes onto the chat window so that we can comfortably reach out to you all and give in much more deeper information about any of the courses which are run here at Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning. So on to this note, yes, as we come to the end of this informative and a very interactive and informative FDP, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the vote of thanks on behalf of Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning and on behalf of all the participants who have attended this FDP program. We especially thank Dr. Shilpa Prabhu and Mr. Amit Dapke for accepting our invitation and joining us. Your presence has boosted our energy, and also your thoughts have inspired all of us related to the various tools which Shilpa Prabhu Madam discussed, and also the insights which were given by Mr. Amit Dapke. Once again, thank you all of you all for joining us. Thank you. And please write a yes onto the chat window in case if you want any more information regarding the programs which I discussed now. Thank you. So Sunita ma'am, can we leave?
Yes, ma'am. It's the end of the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.